All right, hello. Welcome to the red carpet stream. So far, we have some of the owners. We're getting all excited here for the draft. Let's see. In actual owners, we have Nick Ergang is here. Second place finisher Greg Noble is here, and Rich Nolet is here. And then we have two representatives, Wyatt and Ray. Well, they're just on pins and needles right now. You can tell they're just chiming in here. We're watching the Bears-Bengals game, getting ready to watch the Lions take it to the Chiefs. We're waiting for the big star, the meat, to show up. Let's see. We're expecting to have a total of 14 people today. I think a bunch are coming closer to 5. The meat's supposed to be here in the next, hopefully, 15 minutes. But the question in everyone's mind is, what's going to be the first overall pick? No one knows what it's going to be.
Big mystery.
That's a big mystery right now. There's talk it's going to be a receiver, but I heard with the Sam Darnold getting the start now in Minnesota, he could be the first overall pick in this year's draft. That was a real game changer. You guys want to talk about anything?
We love you, Eric.
I'm loved by my brother-in-law, Mark Gage. So we're kind of looking at the draft, how the first round might work out. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty heavy wide receiver, like really heavy, especially early. So we got what? You figure I got the first pick, Ian, Nick Ergang, Tony. The first 4 should be all receiver. Jimmy at 5, that could be your first kind of curveball because that could go running back or receiver. Brady at 6, I think, could be the first quarterback going off the board. And I think once one goes, you're going to see him a rush because there's 5 teams that don't have a quarterback. And 3 of those 5 teams were playoff teams last year. So the question is, where does Brady go at quarterback? I think he should go Tua because he's got Tyreek Hill, but Goff is the number 1 rated quarterback in this draft. Or there's Brock Purdy. And actually, they're pretty close in projected points. And then Tua is ranked 3rd. He could also go Kyler Murray, but I don't think I would take Kyler Murray at 6. I think the only other option would be Kirk Cousins, but now you're looking at an old quarterback. Lively bunch today. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Ritz will probably go. We have a draft board this year, and the draft board actually has everyone's picks, and they'll actually have as they're happening. So we're not doing the. I'll have to repeat this later. We're not doing the stopwatch like I used to always do the stopwatch between picks. So the names getting put on the board essentially just became our stopwatch. And Ritz he doesn't need a quarterback. He might go receiver actually too. Or that could be our first tight end coming off the board. Let's see. Then we got Ian picking again. He doesn't have a quarterback, so that'll probably be the second quarterback spot. Followed by Liam was in there at 8. Liam, I would probably assume receiver since he's got 3 running backs and only 1 receiver. That's a pretty good projection. There's a receiver. Ian, quarterback at the second pick. Then you got Tony again. What would Tony take? He'd probably go another receiver.
Colin Anson.
He'll probably go receiver with those first 2 first-round picks. I think Mark might go quarterback. Otherwise, he might go receiver. Then you get Megan at 12. That's definitely a receiver spot. Ergang again. So if he's already taken a receiver, probably Then he's kind of open. He can go running back. He can go another receiver. He can go a tight end. Could be our first team defense coming off the board. 14 is Anthony. 14 is, hey, one time Nick Ritz took in the second round of our first ever draft. He took the Jets defense in the second round. The first ever draft we had. Let's see. Then we have Anthony at 14. That one could be a quarterback or a running back. He's possibly got the best receiving group in the entire league, so I'd say I doubt it's a receiver. And then we have Greg up at 15. Most likely a receiver, I would assume. And then I would close out the first. And I could go, more likely I might be a running back. Could be a backup quarterback going there, depending who's available. So that should be our first round.
What did you think Jimmy and Ian were going to do?
Jimmy could be a running back, or he could be, given what's available, I think running backs as a whole are going to drop like rocks. Just because the receivers are so strong, and those quarterbacks, the teams that need quarterbacks, I think running backs are going to, the second round will be where all the running backs go, or the bulk majority. And I mean, there are good players, don't get me wrong. I mean, but some of them are older, like Aaron Jones is older. Devin Singletary is a journeyman. You know, Zamir White had a good end of his year last year, but he's still unproven. Stevenson's not bad, but the offense isn't going to be very good. Pollard's going to be in a share situation. When does Nick Chubb come back from the injury? Otherwise, Nick Chubb would be the first running back off the board, if not the first overall pick, maybe.
He wouldn't have got hurt. He probably would have.
Well, he would have been kept. He would have even be on the board. He would have been a keeper. Elliott will probably wait just because even though he's going to be the starter in Dallas, he's older. Mostert, he's in a committee. Gus Edwards will be in a committee. Tajay Spears is a committee linked to Pollard. Chase Brown is another interesting one because he's kind of in a committee. He's younger. Who else we got? Jonathan Brooks. If he was healthy coming into this, might be the first running back taken. He's the best rookie, but he'll miss probably the first couple of games for sure. I'm actually reading this off our top 27 board here, which is all positionals. Let's see. This year will be their first year with the new division settings. We got see how that works out. It'll be a little more challenging for some teams. We got, I think the toughest division might be the East with Rich, Jordan, Mark, and Anthony. It's a pretty solid division. Really, they're all pretty challenging, which is good. I'm sure I'll get rolled every week.
How many first overall picks did Eric have?
2.
That's it?
There was 3, but I moved one to acquire the first overall, which it's worth it to me. There's one specific player, Sam Darnold, I was really eyeballing, or now, of course, and this will get brought up again, that there was rumor that, so we have a clause, I put a clause in years ago, it was the Barry Sanders rule. So if a player retires that was a keeper, you can replace that player. Delvin Cook might be retiring, and I looked at it I'm like, Jimmy needed to get that off there. It's only ever been used twice. This is only the second time this rule has ever been actually used. One was during COVID. It was actually Jordan, I think it was Christian Kirk decided he wasn't going to play that year, so I kind of looked at that as an exception rule. So I let him pick a different keeper. It wasn't like an injury or anything like that. There we go. There's a sound we like to hear. Ergen cracking a cold one. little bit later in this broadcast, I'll be announcing the basketball keepers for 2024. Currently, we have none of the people in the room are part of the basketball league, but there are some watching and some that will be in-house. Wasn't the Lions game supposed to be on?
It was. Just what? It changed. Screen went black, there was a loading bar, and this popped up.
I wonder if it's on Fox. That's why. It's on Fox. There you go, Ray Bailey. You can watch your Lions now. I'm getting a little mad here that Tony... I'm, like, seriously hungry. I've been, like, waiting all day to eat this. As you can see, I'm wearing a unique, a little bit different than shirt that I normally would wear for the draft. Letting everyone know that I believe in Joe Hendry, as everyone else should. Say his name and he will appear, Wyatt. He's not going to be here today. If you say his name all you want, he won't be here, but typically in the wrestling ring, if you say his name, he does appear. Let's see. So as far as overall picks we got going in the second round, Tony owns 3 in the second round. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3. Rich owns a few. Rich has back-to-back. I own a few in the second or in the third round. Here we go. We'll get y'all. Let's get all fancy. So, who you guys think's gonna win the Super Bowl this year?
Lions.
Lions. Nick.
I don't know. And nothing.
Wyatt. Wyatt thinks the Falcons are going to take it all this year. He believes in Kirk Cousins. He said he had a I believe in Kirk Cousins t-shirt. He just chose not to wear it today.
I had a dream last night, yeah.
Yep, he had a dream about Kirk Cousins. Dancing Drake Londons and Kyle Pitts were in his head.
We're going to win it all.
Rich, you going with Green Bay?
Ravens, probably.
Ravens?
Henry works out.
I normally don't say this, but I think at this point it's pretty much the Chiefs to lose. I mean, even though they lost a few offensive players, they actually improved themselves. The biggest question is going to be how much the L'Jarius Sneed loss is going to hurt them.
What?
L'Jarius Sneed, the cornerback. He seriously is like one of the best corners in the league.
It just sounds like a character from Harry Potter.
Oh.
Doesn't sound like a real name.
Now, since you brought it up, so would that be a Slytherin character? Or would that be Gryffindor, Hufflepuff,
Just sounds like a real
Ravenclaw?
name.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't have the hat.
You don't have the hat.
Yeah.
You're getting to be the hat.
Sure.
Where are you putting L'Jarius Sneed?
It's a fantasy made-up name.
Remember, he can also pick. You can pick what house you want to go to. This just became the Harry Potter show. Are they gonna make any more of those movies? Like they had like the whole like prequel thing going, and then they just stopped. Speaking of movies upcoming, they're talking about making a John Madden movie, and Nick Cage is going to play John Madden. Yep.
Time will tell.
Well, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'll just announce the basketball keepers now. Get out of the way. So, for the basketball keepers for 2024, start with me, the 2024 Basketball League champion. I am keeping guard Damian Lillard, guard De'Aaron Fox, guard Trae Young, and forward center Anthony Davis. Tony is keeping Nikola Jokic, Jay Morant, LaMelo Ball, Zach LaVine. Oliver, who finished second last year, he is keeping guard Jalen Brunson, forward Kevin Durant, forward center Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Yeah, him.
yeah, and forward center Domantas Sabonis. I am screwing some of these names up. Yes. Jordan is keeping guard Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Paolo Banchero, and Chet Holmgren. That doesn't sound like a basketball name right there. Chet Holmgren. Sounds like a guy that's on a radio show. Let's cut back to Chet. Chet with the weather. Anthony is going to keep Laurie Markkanen, guard Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, a local product from Michigan, actually from Granville, and Victor Wembanyama. Nick Ritz is keeping Steph Curry, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, and Kyrie Irving. Probably the easiest names in this whole thing to say. Kyle is keeping Franz Wagner, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Cade Cunningham, and Tyrese Maxey. And Chris Hernandez is going to keep Brandon Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Bam he's keeping Bam from the Miami Heat, and guard Donovan Mitchell.
He's going for it.
So there's our 2024 ABL keepers. So lots to get to here for the draft. Starts at 6 o'clock. There may be a small intro off camera before. There'll be some prep work for that. As Mark Thompson said, the most overproduced thing there is. The football draft is the most overproduced thing there is. There was talk about adding a smoke machine. That will not be happening this year.
Oh, man. That's just...
The ceiling will not be opening up as a large... I was kind of wondering how that would work, having the smoke machine here. Like that make it a little cloudy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just water vapor usually, isn't it?
Open the windows. Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot going on right now here. We're just waiting for the meat to get here so we can all eat and then have the draft. So with that, we're going to end this about 40 minutes earlier than I anticipated. A lot of rip-roaring action going on here. Yeah. Ray doesn't want to be on camera otherwise. He earlier he was doing his best Mary Lou Retton impersonation. He was doing backflips down the street. At one point he was doing the balance beam, except he was using the gutter system we have here as the balance beam. He even did the splits. That was a sight.
All right,
to see.
Phil. It's enough.
All right. Well, Mark Gage says it's time to end the show. So we're going to end the show on that note. Thank you for those tuning in, and we will see you at 6 o'clock sharp for the 2024 AFL Fantasy Football Draft. And what some are saying will be the greatest draft ever.
That's the last one.
So thank you for watching. As I